It's the same kind of creature that sometimes contaminates poorly washed vegetables, but to you, it feels like you're facing a wolf while being the size of a chicken nugget. This thing is 10 times your size and definitely hungry. You've barely been alive for a day, and already the universe is trying to turn you into someone else's lunch. Being invisible to the naked eye doesn't help much when all the other microorganisms can still see you just fine. It's time to see if your stubby legs can move fast enough to outrun death. The nematode lunges at you, its worm-like body slicing through the water droplet like a submarine. Your little legs paddle desperately. But let's be honest, you're not built for speed, you're built for survival. Just as its mouth is about to snap shut around you, you do something completely unexpected. Without thinking, your body instantly begins to shrivel. Your limbs tuck in as you enter that state once again. Not because you planned it, but because you're literally scared stiff. The nematode halts, confused by its prey, suddenly turning into something that looks like a microscopic raisin. It pokes your dried body with its head, but you don't budge. No movement, no response. After a few more prods, it slithers away to find something more obviously alive to snack on. Congratulations, you've just discovered your superpower, playing dead so convincingly that you actually become temporarily dead. When the droplet rehydrates you, you spring back to life, your limbs unfurling as you gasp in the microscopic equivalent of "What the heck just happened?" Yes, you just paused your own existence. Welcome to cryptobiosis, your species party trick that makes you practically unkillable. Now fully rehydrated and slightly traumatized, you're facing the next challenge. Growing up in a world where everything is trying to eat you. But how do you grow when you're born as a fully formed mini adult? Unlike other animals that go through cute larval stages, you come out of your egg already equipped with everything you'll ever have, just smaller. Talk about peaking early. The next few weeks are a blur of eating whatever fits in your tube mouth, algae, plant cells, bacteria. You're not picky. You're the microscopic equivalent of a college freshman at a free buffet. Your method isn't exactly sophisticated. Poke a hole in a cell with your mouth tube, suck out the contents, move on to the next one. It's not glamorous, but it gets the job done. Every day is a new challenge in your droplet world. Sometimes the water completely dries up, forcing you into that tarn state once again. Other times it floods with rain, sweeping you to entirely new locations. Eventually, you find yourself in a puddle filled with other microorganisms. The same ones that might be swimming in that glass of pond water humans accidentally swallow while swimming. To them, you're the weird new kid, but to you, it's a whole new world of potential food and potential predators. Speaking of predators, they're everywhere. Roifers, spinning wheel-like creatures that create whirlpools to suck in food, are particularly annoying. You've learned to recognize the currents they create and waddle in the opposite direction. It's not elegant, but it keeps you from becoming someone's snack. Then, one morning, disaster strikes. The temperature drops overnight and your water droplet begins to freeze. For most microscopic creatures, this is a death sentence. Ice crystals form inside cells, rupturing membranes, and it's game over. But not for you. As the ice crystals begin to form, your body produces special proteins that stop the ice from damaging your cells. You enter another version of your ton state, cryobiosis. Your metabolism grinds to a halt and the entire droplet freezes solid, with you suspended inside like a prehistoric mosquito trapped in amber. Days pass, maybe weeks. Temperature doesn't really matter when you're in suspended animation. Then the spring sun melts your icy prison and you simply wake up. No damage, no frostbite, not even a microscopic case of hypothermia. Just another day in the life of a tardigrade. What's it like to keep pausing and unpausing your existence? It's like everyone else is playing life on normal mode while you have the ability to hit save and come back later. The downside, every time you unpause, the world has changed around you. The ice finally melts and 8 months have passed since you froze in time. In the micro world, you're now fully grown, still microscopic at about 0.5 millimeters long, but basically a giant in tardigrade terms. That's about the size of the period at the end of the sentence, which doesn't sound all that impressive. Until you remember that you started life 10 times smaller. Your translucent body has a plump, bear-like appearance that would almost be cute if only humans could see you without specialized equipment. As you regain your bearings, you realize you're no longer in the same Ozpatch. The freezing and thawing has carried you to new territory, garden soil in someone's backyard. Around you, huge mountains of dirt particles tower like skyscrapers, and massive plant roots stretch out like redwood trees. From your perspective, the soil is a bustling metropolis. Bacteria colonies spread like microscopic cities. Your first priority? Food. After being frozen for 8 months, your stomach is definitely ready. You spot a cluster of algae growing in a thin film of moisture and waddle over. Your 8 legs move in an awkward pattern that would be embarrassing if anyone important were watching. You pierce the cell wall with your tube-like mouth and suck out the contents like you're drinking from a juice box. 1 down, 100 more to go before you feel satisfied. As you finish your meal, something catches your attention. A fellow tardigrade about your size is moving through the soil nearby. This one gives off a distinctly different vibe. It's a female. Your tiny tardigrade heart, yes, you have one, beats faster. After months of solitude, encountering another of your kind feels like stumbling upon a celebrity. Mating as a tardigrade isn't exactly romantic. There's no dinner date, no Netflix and chill, not even a cheesy pickup line about water bears and honey. It's more like awkward microscopic square dancing. You approach cautiously. She could decide you're more snack than soulmate if you make the wrong move. The courtship, if you can call it that, involves circling each other while waving your front legs in what scientists might generously call a mating dance, but more closely resembles 8-legged jazz hands. Once she's decided you're an acceptable genetic match, the real action begins. And, well, it's weird. You release sperm cells and she collects them. It's a straightforward affair, but for some tardigrades it's more complicated. The whole encounter lasts maybe 15 minutes and then you both go your separate ways. She didn't even give you half of what she's going to make of her only fins. Back to the solo life of eating and avoiding death. She'll lay anywhere from 1 to 30 eggs, either freely in the environment or tucked inside her old molted cuticle like a microscopic baby carriage. Those eggs might contain your genetic material, continuing your legacy of stubborn survival, or they might not. Female tardigrades sometimes reproduce without males, deciding your contribution wasn't necessary after all. After years of pausing and unpausing your existence, surviving everything from freezing to baking, you've reached what humans might call old age. Though for a tardigrade, that's a relative concept. One day, disaster strikes in the form of a gardening shovel. The soil you've been living in gets scooped up and separated from the main garden. A chunk of dirt containing you and your microscopic neighborhood gets tossed into a forgotten corner of the yard, an exposed dry area with no protection from the elements. As the sun beats down, the soil around you begins to dry rapidly. By now, entering ton state is second nature. Your body shuts down methodically. Your 8 legs tuck in and you shrivel into a dehydrated husk. Just another Tuesday. But this time, something feels different. Maybe it's the hundreds of previous cycles taking their toll. Or perhaps it's the particularly harsh conditions of this exposed dirt pile. But you sense this won't be a quick pause. As the last moisture evaporates, you settle in for what could be a very long wait. Here's the thing about being a tardigrade that most creatures would envy. You're practically immortal, but there's some fine print. While you can survive virtually anything through your ton state, extreme radiation, the vacuum of space, pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trenches, there are still a few things that can end you permanently. Sustained heat above 150 degrees Fahrenheit will destroy the special proteins that protect your cells, leaving you genuinely dead instead of just paused. Certain chemicals and toxins can break down your protective barriers, and if something physically crushes or eats you while you're in ton state, well, even tardigrade superpowers have their limits. As you enter this newest suspended animation, there's no telling when or if you'll rehydrate again. Maybe you'll be blown by wind to a new location, possibly reviving years or even decades later when conditions are right. Perhaps you'll end up in soil that won't see moisture for a century. Or maybe you'll end up somewhere truly bizarre, like inside a laboratory where humans deliberately expose you to conditions no animal should survive just to see if you can. The truth is, no one knows exactly how long a tardigrade can remain in ton state and still successfully revive. Some of your kind have come back from 30 years of complete desiccation, but the upper limit remains a mystery. You're not dead, but you're not exactly alive either. You exist in the ultimate limbo, a microscopic water bear.